Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the latest album from Freedom called Metal, out August 23rd on Steam Hammer. The album has 11 tracks, 44 minutes in length, and this is the band's 10th full-length album. Not only this is their 10th full-length album, this year they're celebrating their 20th anniversary. How cool is that? To celebrate your 20th anniversary with a 10th full-length release. Now for fans of the band, for fans of power metal, heavy metal, this album really checks all the boxes. It really matches all the necessary criteria in order for you to have a quality record. It has impressive vocals, outstanding guitars, powerful drums, and some cheese. You always need a little bit of cheese when you talk about power metal. Now, as far as the overall structure of the record is concerned, I didn't really feel like this album throws any curveballs at you, the listener. It's really an album that what you get from the first song, you're going to get all the way down to the last song. So there's really nothing there as far as the overall structure of the record that really takes you on a side journey that really makes you scratch your head and wonder what the hell is this song doing in the middle of these all other songs. That is not what this record is about. This record is really about being consistent from the first all the way to the last with really quality guitar work, in some really solid keyboard synthesizer melodies, outstanding drums, and then this is an obvious over-the-top vocal. So that's what you're going to get. So from that perspective, from the overall feel of the record and from the overall structure of the record, I really don't feel like there's any really curveballs being thrown at you, the listener. Perhaps in certain songs there are some elements that are new or different or a little bit unexpected. That is the case. There are some songs that have some of those elements that perhaps will caught you off guard. But overall, from when you look at the overall picture, when you look at the overall sound of the record, it's really not a record that is outside of the box from a generic perspective. Like I said, there are some elements here and there, and even some overall elements that are a little bit out of the box. But when you're listening to the record, when you're going through it as a listener, you really don't get that feel like this album is really creating any surprises. No, it's an album that's really well put together. It's a record that has a lot of strengths, not many weaknesses at all. I mean, it's really hard for me to look at this record from the first to the last song and really found any spots that I thought that could have been done better. This is a really strong, dynamic, fluid record that is very concise and consistent all the way from the first to the last song. Now, I want to break the record through some elements that I really feel are necessary to be broken down. I'm going to start with the drums. They had Daniel Zimmerman and Kevin Kott record the drums simultaneously on this record. So you're going to hear one on the left side of your headphones, and you're going to hear the other on the right side of your headphones. That to me is a little bit of a twist. It makes the drums a lot heavier, a lot more powerful, a lot more dynamic, and it's a really cool twist that perhaps will go unnoticed to some, depending on what sound system you're using. But it's a cool dynamic, it's a cool change, and definitely it's a cool little condiment that they threw into this record. Then vocally, I really felt the album was absolutely extraordinary. There's really nothing to point out. The vocals really brought out life into the songs and really brought out the life of the lyrics onto the listener. So I really love how they used the vocals, not only how they used them, but how they were put together as far as vocal tracks are concerned. I really enjoyed the choirs, I enjoyed the backing vocals, the layers that they did to the vocals. I enjoyed everything surrounding the vocals because they did what was necessary on each specific song in order to really elevate the sound, the feel, the mood, the atmosphere of those specific tracks. On the guitar side, once again, extremely well put together guitar-wise this record is, as far as the solos, the riffs are concerned, and the melodies. It's an album that has a little bit of aggression, not too much, but it has a lot of great fast tempos, great dynamic moments, some groovy parts to songs that are a little bit perhaps unexpected, great melodies, great solos that add life to the tracks, that add dynamic to the tracks, that add fluidity to the songs, that sometimes go a little bit over the top to just give a more cinematic feel to the track. Absolutely a magnificent job as far as the guitars are concerned overall on this record. Last but not least, I want to mention the keyboards, because the keyboards play an important role on this album. To me, they add a little bit of flair, they add a little bit of melody, and most important, they add a little bit of atmosphere to some of the songs. And the most important aspect of the keyboards and how they were used throughout this album was the fact that they were used, they were not abused. And to me, that was really important, because there's a lot of elements that are so magnificent on this record, like the vocals, overall vocals, I must say, overall vocals, the drums, the guitar. There's so many cool elements on this record, on each single song of this record, that you don't want the keyboards necessarily to overshadow everything and be the main all and the be all of the record. So I like how they use them sporadically throughout the record, really sprinkle them into the tracks, move them in, moving them out, really allowing them to be an element, but not a key element or one of the driving forces of the record. So to me, that was really important for an album that has this style and this sound to really work to perfection, and to really have a little bit of a throwback feel to it, a little bit of an old school power metal, heavy metal feel to it. It's important not to really abuse those keyboards. Use them, but not abuse them. Overall, I really feel like this is an album that connects deeply to the past of the band, but also allows them to look and focus towards the future. It's really a record that merges those two worlds, merges what they've done before, but perhaps what they're going to be doing going forward. So from that perspective, to me, this is an album that has a lot of driving pieces, it has a lot of moving parts, and it's an album that I extremely enjoyed it from the first to the last song. It had such livelihood to it. It was just so dynamic, so beautiful, so really well put together. It really captivated me as a listener. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I'm going to start off with Spirit of Daedalus, a song that has an absolutely blistering tempo. It has an incredible tempo to it, but also a very melodic spinal cord that keeps the whole track together. That pretty much stays true throughout the song. It's not just at the intro of the song that you get that blistering tempo and those incredible melodies. That kind of stays true throughout the whole track, and that's really important for a song that has this kind of life to it. The chorus is magnificent. I love the backing vocals in the chorus. They really add so much volume to the song. They add volume to the chorus and really magnetizes it, and it really elevates that portion of the song. It makes the chorus push through almost all the way to the sky. It just makes that specific part of the song larger than life, and I really like that. It really elevates the overall song. There's also a great solo in this song that really allows the song also to move forward. It's not one of those solos that kind of breaks the track or goes in a different direction. No, the solo on this song really allows it to move forward. It gives continuity to the track. Next, Sail Away, one of my favorite tracks on the album, if not my favorite song on the album. I love the drums and the atmosphere that the drums bring to this song. Heavy, strong, really pungent. They really have a strong feel to it from the beginning all the way through. Sure, there are some slower moments where they are not as magnificent, they're not as preponderant, but overall, this is a really drum track driven song, and I really love that. The keyboard melody on this specific song almost feels like the wind if you're in a boat at sea. So that matches extremely well with the overall theme of the song, with the lyrics of the song, with the mood that the song has. So I like how those keyboard melodies were incorporated into this song in that fashion. The choir in the chorus really gives the song a hymn feel. It really almost feels like not a battle hymn, but a call to arms, if you will. It just has this magnetizing force which just draws people together, and I really like how it comes across in the chorus of this track. It makes the chorus really a standout moment in the overall structure of the song. To me, this is one of the most memorable songs on the record, one of those that has one of the catchiest chorus, hookiest chorus, and it's an absolute earworm of a track. Last but not least, Wheel of Time. Overall, there are some slower moments in this song, but I would say overall this is a fast, heavy, pounding song that has a lot of momentum to it. Sure, there are some moments where it just drops a little bit out of intensity. It becomes a little bit more melodic, more drawn out, but overall this is a song that has fast tempo and it has a lot of heaviness to it. The vocal layers add thickness to the overall vocal track that this song has. I really like what they did here on this track. They really included a lot of backing vocals, a lot of layers to the vocals, and that really added thickness to the song, because otherwise, every time the song drops out of intensity, the song would feel like it's losing momentum. So by adding those layers to the vocals, it really allows the song to always stay, or at least always feel like it has the same heaviness and the same momentum to it. The chorus does not change the dynamic of the song whatsoever. This is one of those songs that it's not chorus against the verses. No, verses and chorus feel almost the same. They have the same lifeline, they have the same dynamic, they have the same spinal cord, they have the same fluidity. So one just feels like a continuation of the other, and you don't get this battle between those two that you normally get on most songs. So I really like the dynamic that they incorporated in this song to give that specific vibe, that specific overall feel to the song. 2/3 into this track, you get this humming with these backing vocals like a choir. It's such a beautiful bridge that really connects the song to the solo. And I really like it because it was different. It added a different dimension to the track. It added a different overall atmosphere to the song. It was really beautifully put together, and I just fell in love with that little bridge there that connects the track with the solo and allows the whole song to come together. It's a wonderful overall, all-around track that it has some really magnificent moments built within it. Specifically, that humming with those backing vocals, that is absolutely incredible bridge that they put in the middle of the track. A track that, to me, if you look at the chorus specifically, almost sounds like a Disney song. So I really like that. It's really catchy. It has a really good vibe, good atmosphere to it. Alright guys, this is it. This is Freedom Call with Metal, out August 23rd on Steam Hammer. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. As always, I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.